In this lesson, we'll use the line tool to draw a 3D box. So start by pressing L to switch to the line tool, and hover your cursor over this top back corner endpoint. Click on it, and begin moving your mouse up in the blue direction. So you'll notice that we have perspective turned on in SketchUp. If you're familiar with other CAD programs, it can look a little bit different having perspective turned on. And one of the issues that you'll see right away is trying to draw vertically. Notice that my blue direction inference seems tilted just slightly to the left. Yours might seem like it's tilted in a different way depending on your camera angle. But you want to trust, in SketchUp, you want to trust the inferences, not your eye. So I don't want to try to nudge my cursor over and see if I can get what I think looks vertical. SketchUp is telling me this is in the blue direction, so this is vertical. So you trust that and go ahead and click to finish drawing a vertical edge. Now let's start drawing in the red direction. So this is where we can really see that we have to trust the inferences, because how else would I know where to draw in this direction if I didn't have that red inference? So as you're going in the red direction, you might think, well, how far do I draw? Now, there's a chance that, like me, as you're moving along, you'll see this dotted blue line shoot up. But if it doesn't, remember that to infer any point, you go down with your cursor, don't click on it, just hover over this endpoint, then move your cursor back up. You don't have to keep your cursor in line with this little dotted line. You could move it accidentally away from that line, but you want to get back to the point where you have the red direction and you've got this blue dotted line shooting up. That lets you know that you're at a very specific point. Go ahead and click to finish drawing that edge. And now you should be able to move your mouse down in the blue direction all the way to this endpoint and click to finish drawing this side face here. Try orbiting, holding down that center mouse wheel like a button and moving your mouse to orbit, and you'll see that you have a vertical wall. I'll orbit back around here. Okay, so we'll repeat those steps to draw the back face here. So with the line tool, hover over the left corner endpoint, click, and begin drawing up in the blue direction. Now here's where you'll really see it. If I was trying to visually draw a vertical edge, I might stop about here. But my edge is black. I don't have a blue inference here. So I need to move my cursor over and then notice that it snaps. It's really tilting to the left, but that's just because our camera has perspective on. We'll talk a lot about perspective as we move along, but for now, just know that you should trust your inferences, so I'll move my cursor up. And when you're looking for how high to draw this, you'll notice that I'm getting this dotted line that's shooting across diagonally. I could accept that inference, or if that one seems confusing to you, you're wondering, what does that diagonal mean? You can hover over something else that you trust. So I'll hover over this endpoint and move my cursor back. And now I get this blue axis inference plus the dotted green one. Either would have been fine, but I'll go ahead and click here. Then move your cursor over to the top corner endpoint and click there, and you'll finish drawing in that rectangle, that vertical rectangle face. Okay, next, let's come to this bottom corner endpoint closest to the camera. Go ahead and click once on it and begin drawing up in the blue direction. Notice here that because you're hovering over the face, you can get this on face inference if you're not careful. That's just the blue dot. You want to make sure you move your mouse over so that it snaps and shows you the vertical on blue axis inference. And then move your cursor up. Now you might think it's tall enough here, but remember, perspective will show things closer to the camera a little larger, and things further away from the camera will be a little bit smaller. So keep moving your mouse up until you get that dotted line shooting from one of your other inferred points. Again, if you don't trust what it's shooting over, you're not sure if that's right. In this case it is, but in case I was not sure, you could move over a different corner endpoint that you do trust and then pull your cursor back. You want to make sure you're at this point where you have a blue inference pointing up and a dotted green or red inference depending on which inferred point you're coming from. Go ahead and click to accept that, and then finish drawing over in this case for me, in the green direction to the other endpoint. Click. Okay, so now orbiting around, checking everything, it looks good. We have one more edge to draw in here. So we'll need to draw an edge from this back corner endpoint to this front corner endpoint. So with the line tool, go ahead and click. Move your mouse in the red direction in this case, and then click on the endpoint to finish that face. And it turns out that you'll finish both the side face, or the side rectangle here, and the top one. Orbit around, hold down that center mouse wheel and orbit around all sides, and you'll see that everything is all filled in. Now, if your box didn't fill all the way in, don't worry. We'll cover that in the next lesson.